Hi, welcome to Math 520 Linear Algebra. My name is Sam Lisi. And I will be the instructor of this class. And the best way to get a hold of me is by email, and that's at stlisi@olmis.edu. Okay, so this is a remote class, and I presume you are full of questions as to what that means exactly. So let's get to that in a minute, where we discuss the syllabus. But before we do that, let's talk about the content of the class and what it is that, what are the features of this class and what we hope to accomplish. So this is obviously a linear algebra class, but the intention is that this is a second semester class. So beforehand, you really need to have seen many of these basic computational ideas of linear algebra, as would have been covered in, for instance, Math 319. The second thing about this class is that it is a 500 level class. So there are some undergraduates in the class and some graduate students in the class, and it is a math class. So what this means in practice, admittedly, this also reflects my bias as a pure mathematician and the bias of our department. This is going to be a very pure mathematical approach to linear algebra. This is going to be about the theory, about the definitions, and about proving the theorems. And that leads us to our third point, that while linear algebra is of fundamental importance in its own right, the other thing we're going to aim to accomplish with this class is we're going to use it as an excuse to really understand how to prove a theorem, where definitions come from, and how to attack them. I will say that the correct question you should ask when you see a definition, after trying to understand what it's saying, is the next question is why? Why is the definition what it is? And that's what we're going to work on this semester. We're going to work on this kind of how to read mathematics, how to work with mathematics to bring you that much closer to being able to create mathematics. Okay, that's enough about the general background of the class. Let's now switch gears and talk about the syllabus. So the first thing is how to contact me. Right, so I gave you my email address already on the blackboard, on the chalkboard, and my phone number is listed in the syllabus, which you can find on Blackboard, the software site. Call or text me in case of emergency. If you have questions or something you need an urgent answer to, feel free to call or text. If it's in the evening and I'm not available, my phone will be on Do Not Disturb mode. In that case, if it is an emergency, call me twice, and that should hopefully get through the Do Not Disturb mode. At least my phone claims that's how it works. I will check email at least twice a day during the week, and at least once on weekend days. In practice, it's significantly more often than that, but that's the bare minimum you can count on. And I highly recommend posting questions to the Piazza discussion forum. It's a discussion forum that I've created for the class on a website called Piazza, and a link to it is available from Blackboard, and they should email you a sign-up form, or whatever, a sign-up email once I give them your email address, which I haven't done yet as of when I record this, but by the time you watch it, it may well have happened. Okay, there are 5 main components of the class. The first is going to be a Zoom class meeting Tuesdays at 8 a.m. The link and password for the Zoom meeting are available on Blackboard. There's going to be the textbooks. There's Axler's book. I also have a book by, so Axler's book is Linear Algebra Done Right. There is Trail, and his book is called Linear Algebra Done Wrong. And There's Hefferon's book, which I think is called Linear Algebra or something like that. The Axler's book is published by Springer. Many of you should have been able to download it for free during the summer. Unfortunately, it now is back to costing whatever it costs. Trail's book and Hefferon's book are both free and open source books. So those are available free of charge. Obviously, since Axler's book was available free this summer, it shouldn't be too hard to get your hand on a PDF copy of the book if you did not manage to download it this summer. Get in touch with me if you have problems with that. We're going to have videos. That's the third component of this class. We're going to have a weekly check-in, kind of like this video, except shorter in a typical week. Axler has video lectures for all of the book, so we will pick and choose from those the relevant ones. And I will make supplemental videos if it becomes clear that we need some extra depth on a topic, or something's not clear from Axler's video, and that will be on sort of as a response to Axler. And then a major part of the class is going to be this Piazza discussion forum. I will discuss it more in depth in a moment. And then, of course, Blackboard is where I'm going to put announcements and homework and tests and things like that. So Blackboard is going to be, in some sense, the hub of the class. I will record class meetings, and I will post those recordings, so make those available to you. And I have office hours during the Thursday time slot of our class, and then we will choose at least one other time for me to have additional office hours. Right? I felt that having 2 lectures a week in addition to all these videos and all this reading was too much, so that's why I converted Thursday to office hours. Okay, so assessment in this class is going to be based on these 6 items. First of all, there's going to be participation in the discussion forum. That's worth 25% of the course grade. Written homework will be worth 25% of the course grade. And then we are going to have a group oral midterm test together with a written midterm. And then we're going to have a group oral final together with a written take-home final. And there will be occasional extra credit. So let's talk a little bit about what do I mean by group oral exams. So this is going to work in a pretty straightforward way. A week before the oral exam, you're going to choose a partner in the class. For the midterm and the final, I'd like you to choose different partners. I will give the class a list of problems. And you and your partner then are going to book a meeting with me, and the technical details of how we do that will be announced as well. And it'll be about I think a 30 minute meeting that we'll have. And in that meeting, I will ask you to solve maybe 1 problem or 2 problems each off of the sheet of problems, and I will ask you to give commentary on what your classmate did, what your partner did. And the written component of the midterm or final will be constructed out of the same list of questions, but perhaps asking you to go a little bit more in depth. So the bulk of the work actually happens before the oral exam, when you prepare for it, because you'll have a list of all the questions that could be asked. Okay, and then the dates are, we're going to have the midterm the week of September 27th. So the first half of that week is going to be the oral part, and we'll have a 3-day window in which to book the oral meeting. And then the written part will be due that following Sunday at midnight, or 11:59 p.m. The final exam will be similar. We'll have a 3-day window of orals, followed by the rest of the exam period for submitting the written part. The discussion board I mentioned, this Piazza discussion board, it's an external piece of software from Blackboard, so you'll have to register an account. There's a link available from Blackboard, and you can also use the sign-up email that I'm going to ask Piazza to send you. Now, you're welcome to contribute as much as you like to the discussion board, and definitely if you email me questions, I will ask you to post the question to Piazza, or I will post it for you after anonymizing it appropriately if I think it has any general interest at all. So that's definitely part of the purpose of Piazza, but we will also have graded contributions that you're expected to do each week. Now, if you're an undergrad, that'll be 2 graded contributions a week, and if you are a graduate student, it'll be 3. And each contribution in the week can earn up to 3 points. Basically, 1 point is just that you did something. 2 is that you did something that met the guidelines. And 3 is that you did something outstanding. So the first one in any given week, the first one will be due on Wednesday. And this week, your assignment is to introduce yourself. Your second or second and third are due on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. And those will be a response to one of your classmates' posts from the first half of the week. Okay, if you score 50 points as an undergrad or 75 points as a graduate student, you get perfect score on the discussion board component of your grade, and everything will be scaled accordingly. So just to put some perspective there, we have 13 weeks in the semester, so that means that if you average 2 out of 3 points per discussion post, you're doing perfectly. So it shouldn't be too terrible to keep up with this. Okay, and then there's some guidelines now of what I would like you to do on these discussion posts. And your Wednesday post has the option of being one of 3 things. You can choose a definition and write about it. You can choose a theorem and write about it. Or you can choose a suggested homework problem and write about it. Now, I give a lot more detail on Piazza as to what exactly this means, but sort of heuristically and globally speaking, what I mean by this is that up to now in your mathematics career, you're sort of used to thinking of definitions and theorems as what? Right? They tell you about objects, they tell you about things that are true. But what we're interested in is understanding how they work. What is a definition? Where did a definition come from? Why is a definition? Why is a theorem true? And these 2 things work together very closely. Right? The definitions are what they are to make the theorems what they are. And this interplay between them and between those 2 things and concrete examples, things in geometry, things in the world around us, this interplay is part of how one does mathematics. So what we're going to shoot at in this class is to understand why questions. So in some sense, I'm asking you, be a 4-year-old. Ask why, why, why. And we're going to dig and try to understand what's going on in these theorems and definitions. Okay, so for your Sunday post, you should build on what your classmate wrote as their Wednesday contribution. So perhaps address a gap if there is one, address a disagreement, possibly expand on what they wrote, go in a little bit more depth into one of these ideas. And of course, if they posted because they were stuck on a suggested homework problem and you know how to unstick them, do it. Right? That's roughly speaking what I'm looking for in a response. Okay, so I have more guidelines on Piazza, and definitely ask questions, post questions in Piazza, and I will try to make this as clear as possible. Okay, so this class is going to have a rhythm to it. I'd say most classes have a rhythm. Most classes, when we met in person, had a rhythm that was given to us by our meeting times. So here we're going to have a rhythm that is maybe artificially imposed. And the way it's going to work is on Sunday night, I'm going to post a list of topics and sections from Axler, possibly with supplemental material, this kind of thing. I will post a list of suggested problems to think about. I will post links to videos, my weekly introductory video, Axler's videos, whatever else I feel is necessary or appropriate. And I will also assign a written homework assignment that is built out of the previous week's suggested homework problems. Then on Tuesday morning, we'll meet on Zoom and discuss some of the suggested problems. We'll do whatever. By Wednesday night, you'll think about the suggested problems, and you'll post something related to your thoughts on Piazza. That's your Piazza discussion post. And you will submit a solution to the written homework assignment that I gave on Sunday. Then on Thursday, in the morning office hours, you can ask me questions if you want. I won't intentionally bring in any new ideas. This is busy enough. And then by Sunday night, you'll post a follow-up on the Piazza forum, responding to one or two of your classmates, depending on whether you're an undergraduate or graduate student. And then you will be ready then to write up the solution to whatever one of those problems that I assign you that following week as the written homework assignment. Okay, so this first week, I have a little to-do list for you. Come to class on Tuesday morning. Introduce yourself on Piazza. Watch this video, which I guess you can check off the list. Read the syllabus and take a look at the problems that I posted as suggested problems, and read the book, watch Axler's videos, and ask whatever questions you have, either about the course material or about the syllabus or about whatever. Post your questions to Piazza, email me if they're of a more personal nature, and welcome to Math 520. It'll be a great semester. I'm looking forward to this.